This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
PayPal lets you pay all your pals, like your graduation gifters.
Who's paying for the mattress topper?
You mean the beanbag chair?
Aren't we getting a mini fridge?
Can we create a pool on PayPal? It lets us collect the money before we buy.
Ooh, yes, that's smart.
Glad we can agree on something.
Easily pool, split, and send money with PayPal. Get started in the PayPal app. A PayPal account is required to send and receive money. A balance account is required to create a pool.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Something unexpected happened after Jeremy Scott confessed to killing Michelle Schofield in Bone Valley Season 1.
Every time I hear about my dad, it's, oh, he's a killer. He's just straight evil.
I was becoming the bridge between Jeremy Scott and the son he'd never known.
At the end of the day, I'm literally a son of a killer.
Listen to new episodes of Bone Valley Season 2 starting April 9th on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I am sure we will catch up with Johnny Athletic about a lot of things. I missed while I was gone, Glenn Taylor did the surrender. He finally said, it's over, Johnny. He's not going to contest the arbitration board's ruling 2-1 in favor of the new guys from Tolosa. We'll get into some details on where that might be headed. I keep hearing KG's name, but I'm trying to figure out where he fits in. Is Tim Conley leaving? I mean, KG is going to want to probably, knowing KG, he ain't going to come here to be a ceremonial greeter, right? So what's he going to do? I'm kind of curious to know we're envisioning all these pieces are going to fit together. We are expecting a phone call momentarily from Mike Conley as well.
When they land, apparently.
Oh,
they're still in the
circling?
air. Yeah. Circling in Milwaukee. I don't know if there's weather over there.
So, yeah, they got the Bucks tonight, right?
Bucks tomorrow.
Oh, excuse me, it's tomorrow.
They've got the Bucks tomorrow. So they practiced this morning here in Minneapolis and then we're flying in Milwaukee this afternoon. They're still in the air. They'll land, they'll get on the bus, and then he'll call. So it's probably going to be like 4:30.
A while, yeah. So we finish with Milwaukee, at Memphis, big one.
Yeah, Thursday night.
For obvious reasons. And then we finish with 2 home games against Brooklyn and the Utah Jazz. And as we said, I mean, there's a million ways to slice this thing on which way it's going to go. We could be as high as 3, as low as 8. I don't think we're likely to end up 8, given, I was about to say we should win all 4 games. That's probably a mistake because we know how we do business. We almost found a way to lose to Philly.
It was crazy.
A circus shot by Anthony Edwards that saved the Wolves. But so we'll probably have to put off Mike Conley until a little later in the broadcast. Questions, comments, Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line is open. And that number is, as always, 64686. That's 64686. While I was gone, if you're ranking, how do we feel about our local teams right now? I assume we feel pretty good about the Wolves, because overall their record's one of the best in the league.
Yeah. Even
if there's an uneven aspect to the way we go about our business, as it was most recently revealed in Philly, correct? So we got that. We got the Wild moving one step closer to pretty much cinching that they're going to be. What's our lead now for the wild card? Is it 6 points?
Yeah, I think I read 6 today. I'm going to double check it.
I think it's 6, and we've got the Wild are basically at the end of the season. So here's what interests me. I keep hearing that Kaprizov's very close. So is that as in we're going to see him later this week? We're going to see him early next week? What do we know about Kaprizov?
We know that we think he's going to practice tomorrow, and then if everything goes well, he'll be able to play on Wednesday. I think they play San Jose on Wednesday.
Okay.
That's what Russo told me on Friday when I was doing the show from San Antonio Davey, that he looked pretty good. Eriksson Ek, not really on that timetable yet, but the Kaprizov return seems imminent, provided everything goes well tomorrow. And then he'll play Wednesday.
All right, so I'm looking at your Minnesota Wild schedule to see what we have left. We all similarly have 4 games left, just like the Wolves. You mentioned San Jose Wednesday here. At Calgary, big one.
Huge one.
At Vancouver.
Not as big, but they're still pretty good.
Schedule loss. It's the next night. It's the next night at Vancouver.
Isn't that the same time zone, though, or at least close?
It doesn't matter. Different arena. And then we finish against the Ducks on tax day, Tuesday, April 15th. So we're going to make the playoffs, right?
I would think yes. Problem is when you're the second wild card, you're going to run up against Winnipeg, which everybody's afraid of.
By the way, the Wolves cannot miss the playoffs, correct?
Correct.
If we go 0-4,
the lowest they can be is the 8.
The lowest we can go is 8.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're in
that regard.
In that sense, we don't want to do it that way. Clearly, we would rather not have to mess with any of the play-in stuff. I saw somebody, I don't know who did this, attempted to sort of like compare the schedules the rest of the way of the 5 teams.
I can't believe everybody's doing it. I know they have to, the beat writers, but it's crazy.
Well, one of the predictions was we're going to end up a 5 seed taking on Golden State, a 4.
Yeah.
And obviously Golden State would have home ice advantage.
They would. And playoff Jimmy.
Playoff Jimmy.
And insane Draymond.
And insane, with Rudy. Oh, my God.
Rudy, by the way.
Well, that'd be a juicy series. Do we want that, though? There are people.
I would actually love it.
In the, is it Kendrick Perkins?
Yeah.
He believes that the Warriors are the second best team in the Western Conference right now. Now, it's hard to argue with their numbers. Is it 18-2 or 16-2? Whatever it is.
With Jimmy?
It's a ridiculous number. They're unorthodox the way they're built. They obviously have very little size, but they've figured it out how to do it, and Butler's been everything they could have hoped for. So that's diving right into the deep end, right? Because even if Golden State's got some flaws, you still have you've got Steph, man, and as you mentioned, you got Day, and now you got buckets as well. That would be rather dangerous.
Now, Houston beat Golden State last night.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
Okay.
They ended up beating them. But so you could do that with every team, though. You go, okay, all right, well, we don't want the Warriors. Well, do we want the Nuggets? Even though the Timberwolves somehow own the Nuggets, and the Nuggets are in free fall right now. They've lost 4 in a row.
Well, you saw the headline in one of the is there only one Denver paper left? Probably is.
Denver
at this
Post?
point. It might be the Post. The question that it was either a columnist or a beat guy wrote basically was, did the Timberwolves literally break the Nuggets? Because since that game, let me see if I can have I had the stats here a moment ago. Let me see if I can find them. What a wild game that was. The 141-39
double
Wolves
OT
victory in double OT. Since then, Denver has lost to San Antonio Davey by 7.
They didn't play anybody that night.
That's got to be mitigated. That's got to be factored in. Got killed at Golden State by 14, and then just lost to the Pacers by 5. Now, I don't know if anybody was back by the Pacer game or not, because they have been sitting people, but the rumor is, the concern is real that Joker is starting to go, come on, man.
I left my horses for this.
I have to do everything? Come on, help. I need some help. So there's whispering that out there that just started like, oh, my God, what if Joker says, get me out of here? How many teams would be interested in him?
Well, I would say, first of all, the Lakers have probably already had conversations to acquire him that we don't even know about. Yeah, probably. I think everybody would be. Yeah, I think I would take him.
How would you not?
That was the funny part about the Wolves game, was that all the guys that were out there, and I think most of the beat reporters were there, they all wrote the story of just getting the Wolves' reaction in victory to how good Joker was.
Yes.
And Randall had the best quotes, I thought, basically.
Yes.
I feel like crap.
Yeah.
And I'm cleaning that up because I feel terrible. Playing 40 minutes against that guy, I feel awful.
He does have that ability to he just keeps backing you in and just bouncing off. You hit him and he bounces right back off, or you bounce right back off, whatever the case may be. He doesn't care. And then by the time he's done backing in, he's at the rim.
Yes.
And then it's a bank shot,
and
or
if he
it's
misses,
a layup.
he still gets it back.
Yeah,
or he kicks it for a wide open three, or he does a no look.
Yeah.
You know who's been unbelievable, though, and I had to Odom to start the show on Friday, and it's only gotten better since then, is Rudy. Rudy has been really
Rudy's
their
been absurd.
MVP the last 2 or 3 weeks.
The numbers don't lie.
He's giving them everything that they need.
They're keeping him, or maybe he's keeping himself, maybe a combination of both, involved offensively. And we've all talked about that. It works so much better when he is involved offensively. I even think it helps their defense because let's face it, most of his offensive shots when he's getting them are dunks. That was the quote from Randall.
Yes.
Just go to the dunk. I'll get you the ball if you go to the dunk. And that chemistry has gotten a lot better, where I think Randall has come to understand, here's the best way for me to get the best out of him, and everybody wins.
PayPal lets you pay all your pals, like your graduation gifters.
Who's paying for the mattress topper?
You mean the beanbag chair?
Aren't we getting a mini fridge?
Can we create a pool on PayPal? It lets us collect the money before we buy.
Ooh, yes, that's smart.
Glad we can agree on something.
Easily pool, split, and send money with PayPal. Get started in the PayPal app. A PayPal account is required to send and receive money. A balance account is required to create a pool.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Something unexpected happened after Jeremy Scott confessed to killing Michelle Schofield in Bone Valley Season 1.
I just knew him as a kid.
Long, silent voices from his past came forward.
And he was just staring at me.
And they had secrets of their own to share.
Gilbert King. I'm the son of Jeremy Lynn Scott.
I was no longer just telling the story. I was part of it.
Every time I hear about my dad, it's, oh, he's a killer. He's just straight evil.
I was becoming the bridge between a killer and the son he'd never known.
If the cops and everything would have done their job properly, my dad would have been in jail. I would have never existed.
I never expected to find myself in this place. Now, I need to tell you how I got here.
At the end of the day, I'm literally a son of a killer.
Bone Valley, Season 2. Jeremy.
Jeremy, I want to tell you something.
Listen to new episodes of Bone Valley Season 2 starting April 9th on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. And to hear the entire new season ad-free with exclusive content starting April 9th, subscribe to Lava for Good Plus on Apple Podcasts.
Under those circumstances.
Randall right around Yabusele. Gets in the paint. Kicks out to Conley, who pump fakes, moves to his right. Fires on the three and strokes it. Mike Conley. That corner three is second of the night. He's got to be up over 50% at this point.
Mike Conley is indeed off the plane. The Wolves be taking on the Bucks. They've got 4 games left this season, and that stretch will begin in Milwaukee. Mike is brought to us by Dynamic Drips. Become a healthier, more hydrated you at dynamicdrips.com. He joins us via the Connecticut Water Systems hotline. The stat I saw, well, you probably know it, I would think, better than anybody, is that you're shooting 49.6% from 3 over the Wolves' last 30 games. Have you officially found your three-point stroke?
This is kind of slippery. It is. This is kind of slippery.
It's like he's getting on something.
Sounds like it. We'll put him back on hold, see what's happening there. I'm all confused. We're expecting Conley here in a minute. They're I don't know if their plane had been delayed, but they were just landing. And originally we were having him on at 4. Johnny Athletic is scheduled to join at 5 o'clock today. 5 o'clock, 5:02, a little earlier than usual, which means no top 5 at 5. Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line is open at 64686. Did we get the wrong guy? Didn't even sound like Conley.
That didn't. No, the guy I talked to on hold, that was Mike Conley. I don't know where he went. We're going to find him.
Who was that?
I think it was just probably a worker at the airport.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe, I don't know.
I wondered.
Or maybe he said something about being slippery. Maybe Mike slipped. Maybe he fell.
Oh, no.
That wouldn't be good.
That would not be good, no. By the way, is Edwards okay? Because we all like, every time he goes down, we I don't know why we expect the worst, because he generally, pops right back up and returns after being checked out in the locker room. But I guess we're all waiting for the time where it might not end as well.
Well, what was the coach doing all the way down there? Did you see the highlight?
No.
Which game was that? I can't even remember. Where he shoots a corner three, and as he's like rising,
yes.
The coach is like running down the sideline and gets in his landing area.
He's in the landing area. Is that a foul?
Well, it should be. And I don't think, and everybody, and I'll do the disclaimer, I don't think it was anything nefarious, because I think it was Brooklyn. I think it was Friday night. It was the terrible
I think you
team.
might be right, yeah.
So I don't think that guy was, trying to run Anthony out of the game to help them. But what are you doing down there, man? Remember Bursic when the Seattle ref got in the way? And he just goes, get out of the way.
Yes, I remember.
That's all I could think about.
There's your phone call again. Hopefully that'll be Mike Conley. Playoff legit. Somebody's asking if we have any time for Paige Beckers and UConn today. We did. We devoted the first segment and a half to that very subject, and we may get back to it a little later in the broadcast. If you have questions or comments for Mike Conley, or for that matter, Johnny Athletic later, Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line is open. That number is 64686, and we'd love to try to, mix in some phone calls and some things as well. Much to Fallness's chagrin, we haven't talked nearly enough hockey for him. So maybe we'll throw him a bone after Johnny joins us. You know what? Maybe should I start the conversation with Johnny Athletic? Maybe I should start the conversation with some hockey talk. Nothing Johnny likes better but to remind people just how versatile he is. And he always loves talking to the hockey fans as well, does he not?
He does in his own way. Yes, he does.
It's kind of usually a snarky way, correct?
Kind of is not even the modifier.
Not even the good way to put it. A playoff legit possibility. Wolves sweep this week. With other games this week, Denver beats Memphis, Clippers beat Golden State, Lakers lose to Oaks, KC, and Houston. 4-way tie for 3 seed. Minnesota, Denver, Clippers, Lakers. Minnesota wins tiebreaker, and the number 3 seed faces Nuggets in first round with home court. That would have to be Denver's nightmare at this point, right?
Yes.
I mean, there's no question about it. I mean, it's
we're in their head.
We're in their head, and isn't it a lot of it? I know, that we believe in if he wants to score, he being Joker, 30, 40, 50, dare I say it, even 60?
Yeah.
We'll live with it as long as no one else is beating us, because that's when he's at his most dangerous, obviously, doing his Bill Walton passing exhibition and impression, correct?
Yes, and I actually like that strategy. You just have to have the patience to say...
Although 60 might be a little much.
60, there's 2 overtimes, though.
You're pushing it at 60. It was.
I'd settle for 30, 35. So we're still waiting. He did call, but then we couldn't really hear him, so now I'm not sure exactly what's going on.
612 guys, seriously, no mention at all of the women's championship game. That's why I no longer listen to you guys. So let me ask you something. If he no longer listens to us, how would we know that there's been no mention of the women's basketball game, even though we did talk about it the first segment and a half? That doesn't add up, does it?
Maybe for that 8 minutes that he jumped in.
Just so happened he jumped in those 8 minutes.
I think that's what happens.
Oh, I see.
That we're not going wall to wall with it.
Yeah, okay. Well, that could have something to do with it. I'm not exactly sure. If we ever get Conley back, we will ask him about his 2007 NCAA tournament run, which you reminded me of, and a good texter has mentioned as well. I hope we do get him. I don't know if there's technical issues on the bus. I'm still trying to dissect who we were talking to when you thought it was, you said Conley, and then it was somebody else.
Well, it was just somebody in the back.
Did somebody commandeer the phone from him?
I just think they were moving onto the bus,
I see. Okay. And that was just a voice that overtook whatever, him holding the phone to his ear. Yeah, you might be right about that. I don't know. Now, Dame's not back yet for the Bucks, correct?
Correct.
And it's open-ended. There's some feeling that he will be back for the playoffs, but we don't know that, correct? I don't think there's a definitive answer to this point. Because in the East, everybody wants to play the Bucks. That's what I keep hearing. That every including the Knicks, they all want to play the Milwaukee Bucks. What is that? What's going on with my phone? Because they seem flawed at this point. And that's particularly surprising. Then the question in Milwaukee in this offseason going to be, is Greek Freak going to be asked out in Milwaukee? And I have to believe there might be a suitor or two there. Frankly, be more suitors. Things just going pear-shaped right now from a phone standpoint. Garcia's trying to get Mike Conley on. And I got a lot of good questions that have come in for him. Maybe Fallness can text us as well what he would like us to talk about. I mean, it doesn't take much for Fallness to get excited about his hockey team, does it? It really doesn't. It's one nice victory in a row, and he loses his mind. Like, well, we're supposed to have a commemorative print? Not exactly sure what the deal is. But Fallness, you can text us too, and we'll definitely have time after Johnny to fill the hockey void that means so much to Fallness, who apparently has lost his voice. We think we got Mike Conley this time? All right, let's try it one more time.
I talked to him. Yeah, he's there.
We got you. I think we got you this time, Mike. How have you been?
I'm good. Thank you, man. Sorry about that.
That's all right. The stat I was mentioning, 49.6% from three for you over the Wolves' last 30 games. Is the Mike Conley three-point shooting stroke back?
For sure. I feel good. Confident as ever. Body feels good. Wrist feels good. So I think all that, adds up to better shooting.
Have you ever? I mean, you are well aware of the absurdity of this race in the Western Conference. That you could finish, as I understand it, as high as with the 3 seed, and as low as the 8 seed, which of course would mean you'd play your first game on the road in the play-in. What do you make of this thing, and how do you view it? Because I don't think there's much historical precedent for it. This many teams bunched together. By the way, all with good records.
Yeah. It's crazy, to be honest. And I've been in the West for a long time, and we've had a lot of years where, winning 50 games was, most times would get you a pretty good seed, and you're, competing for the 6, 7, 8 seed. And, but the play-in wasn't a thing yet. So now you got teams trying to, race to the finish to get to that top 6 seed. And, I've never seen it this close before, where it's just, any bad night, one game here, one game there, you're looking at, a swing of 2 or 3 different seeds you could be in. So we've been in this race for the last few weeks now, so it's nothing new to us. Just trying to continue to keep every game as the main game, and trying to finish the year off right.
It's fascinating because, as you well know, many seasons the last few weeks are kind of boring and dull because things are kind of set or pretty close to set, and all you're doing is trying to put all your ducks in a row to prepare yourself for the postseason. But this year, this is entertaining stuff, I think, for people of all, fans of all of these teams jockeying for position. It's almost like the playoffs starting early a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does give that, that impression that, you're getting that type of, high level, high quality basketball, the final week or two before the playoffs even start. Cause you have teams, trying to inch their way up the standings as much as they can, and, given everything they got when, like you said, in prior years, you might have, the seeding kind of set and guys being able to rest a little bit, or, the games are not as meaningful. So for us to be a part of it is great. I know the fans enjoy it, and, we're just enjoying it as we go.
What has kicked in with Rudy, and how do you bottle it?
Really, I think it's his aggression, both ends of the floor. I mean, he's being really physical, crashing the glass, just really dominate. You can see his activity, his turned up a couple more notches than I think it had been all season. And, you can tell how much it means to him. And, And if he's playing that way, no matter how bad we play as a unit, he can make up for a lot of things that we do. So we just need him to continue that same train of thought, that same, aggression and intensity he's playing with, and confidence, and bring that into the postseason.
Do you think some of this, too, because his offensive numbers have been good, and a lot of those are dunks, but they count, and I feel like you know him well. You played with him forever, that it all works together, that if he feels he's involved offensively to the degree that he can do certain things, it obviously helps the team because he's going to make a high percentage of those shots. Those are good possessions. And secondly, it's almost like I think it works on the other end as well. It almost feels like he's more energized when he's involved. And you've talked to us about this before, that your belief that you have to get him involved in ways that make him feel like he's a part of what's going on offensively.
Yeah, I think it's a real thing. As much as most people may not believe that, but I think it's a real thing where you have a guy like him who's so dynamic defensively, and nobody thinks about his offensive game that much, but his offensive game can dictate a lot of what he does on the defensive end, just by giving him an extra boost, giving him a little bit more motivation, knowing that he's involved in action as early, just touching the ball, just not running up and down setting screens and defending the entire game. I think it puts him in a whole other mindset, and you get more out of him that way. So I'm just happy the way he's been able to balance that. Happy the way the team's been able to find him in those spots that he can be assertive offensively, and we're not just posting him up randomly, and having to make a bunch of plays one-on-one. He's catching in the roller, he's catching in the dunker spots, he's catching off lobs, off rebounds, he's doing the things that I think that he's always been great at, and just continue to do that.
I get the sense, too, that Julius, now that he spent more time playing with him, has kind of figured out, how to get the ball to him in the right spot where Rudy can do something with it.
Yeah, I think he has. I think it takes some time. It takes time getting used to playing, but somebody like Rudy and where he spaces the floor and where he is on the floor can be new to a lot of people. So for Julius, it just took him a little bit of time to, figure out how to be patient, how to get him to a spot so that Julius can, have space to go and create and make plays like he's capable of making.
Let me ask you about, there was a lot of conversation after the Philly game. You guys found you won it, but obviously it was a bit more of a struggle than you're interested in making it, and that's been part of the personality of this team this year, much to the chagrin of Finchie and you to a large extent. And you had an interesting quote, a very, I thought, honest, thought-provoking quote. Here, let me read it for those who didn't, and then have you maybe expand on it. We have too many times individually where we let a missed shot or a bad turnover that we do inflicting on ourselves carry over for multiple possessions. We'll miss a guy leaking in transition, stuff we're not accustomed to doing. We play hard, but when we got too many guys' minds in different spots, frustrated with themselves or frustrated with the way the game is going for them, you just see like our team just splinter a little bit as far as the connectivity we need to play with. Do players, when you say something like that, do players hear it, or have you already said that to them privately? Because I think a lot of people thought it was honest. It was pretty direct, but it's also kind of challenging the team a little bit. Tell me about that.
Yeah, anything that I say, I think most guys say in media has already been spoken to our team. It's nothing new to our players. We don't find out anything through the media. That's just kind of how our culture has been built. So nothing that's going to surprise anybody. I think everybody knows. After that game, we talked. It's like, man, we need all our guys at the same page. We need you to do this. We need you to do that. We can't have you, pouting for this reason or that reason, or I can't get upset with a turnover and not go back and run back on defense and give up on the play. Like there's circumstances for each individual guy. And we're an honest team, and we're able to talk to each other about that stuff. So it's just about us going out there and doing it and acting on that. And can we, because like I said, we have an emotional team as it is. Like highs and lows, we're emotional, we're aggressive, we have high intensity. It's probably why we're as good as we are and why we can lose some of the games that we lose. But at the same time, we have to be able to, as individuals, control that emotion and kind of funnel it into a safe place and a positive place in high stress situations.
By the way, we've not talked in a while, certainly not since the your remarkably entertaining victory over the Nuggets, the double overtime 140-139 game. You played a long time, but where does that rank in terms of regular season tussles for entertainment value, for competitiveness, the whole bit? I would think that had to rank pretty high.
Yeah, I had to go back and look and think about, how many games I've been a part of that felt like that. And any game that I've ever felt that way was a playoff game that I could think of. And it wasn't a regular season game. It was always a playoff game. It was always a Game 7 or a second round or a Western Conference, opportunity. Never, a game in late March or early April, whatever it was. So it's like, very special to be a part of something like that. Like that was a unique type of win. So many emotions, so many ups and downs, roller coaster type atmosphere. But to do it in Denver, a place that we had just recently had a game like that in Game 7 where we had to come back and it sucked and who was going to win then, and we pulled it out and found a way, and you got, Nikhil, making a great play at the end and drawing the foul and making the free throws and just, a missed layup, like all that stuff just back to back was a crazy way to win. You know what they're saying in Denver? They're saying that's the game that you guys broke the Nuggets with that game. They've not won since. Now they've sat a lot of people, various games for various reasons. But since that game, they've lost 3 more in a row. So they've slid obviously closer to you guys. Is it possible you broke them? I wouldn't say that. Listen, the Nuggets are the Nuggets still, regardless of how they've been playing. I know they haven't had Jamal. I know they've had some guys in and out. Jokic has been playing awesome. But they've had play some tough teams, and it's a tough time of year. And, some teams hit a stride at the right time, some teams lose at the wrong time, and they just have fallen on a couple of losses. I think if they get a couple wins here at the end of the year, they'll be right back to in the playoffs doing their thing. And they're still a team that you don't really want to have to deal with Jokic in the playoffs. So I mean, there's still a problem. Tonight is the men's basketball championship game, as you know. April 2, 2007, you played in the national championship game. I believe it was in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't want to bring up bad memories because you did, Florida knocked you guys off, your Buckeyes off in that game. But what do you remember about that night, the prep for it, when you look back on it? Man, I remember how excited I was, honestly. Just the entire, felt like the entire world was going to be watching you. It felt like it was the game. It was a Super Bowl of games. Like it was the biggest deal of my life. So that night, you're just up in your bed, just thinking about all those possibilities. Like I could be a champion tomorrow. I could have an opportunity. Like it's like crazy. I'm a freshman. Like I didn't expect to be here. So many different thoughts are running through your mind. And so yeah, man, it was a lot of nerves, just excitement, and just really anxious to get out there and get that opportunity to play for a ring. Is the kind of game, like you said, where you're able to get past it, or do you think it'll always gnaw you a little bit? Yeah, it's ironically, it's the one game I think I have never watched fully, like the replay. I normally watch every single game after we play a game. I watch it, just kind of rerun it through my mind, visually through the. We have our phones and stuff now that we can use to look up the games and watch them, and that's the one game I have never looked at. I've never wanted to look at it. It's just been like this sore, salty area where I was like, man, I'm cool. Like I want to not look at that. I don't want to feel that way again, and just kind of avoid it. Last question for you, and I appreciate the time as always as we get closer and closer to the postseason. I was thinking about what you were saying about your comments regarding, the team. It's kind of a volatile mix, and it can be play sometimes with, emotions, sometimes the strength of this team. It can also be the weakness of this club. But the stuff you laid out the other day, does it concern? Because I could see if there's a fan going, well, he's making good points, but if the senior leader of this team has to make those kinds of points this late,
That's concerning in terms of whether this team will be able to figure those lessons out in time to give you guys a really good record here down the stretch, but the best chance to do something with it in the postseason. What would you say to that?
I would say, like, honestly, we are honestly playing our best basketball. We've been playing our best basketball last month. Obviously, we've had the ups here and there, but we have turned a corner that I think a lot of fans that early on maybe thought we wouldn't have turned or even found at any point. And just because even the best teams, you'll see the best teams out there, everybody has their thing. Everybody has things.
Mike?
Concern for that team.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, we lost you for a second.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, got you now.
All right. So we're driving to the hotel.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so I think that it shouldn't be too concerning as far as that most every team has something, has something that they're great at. There's weaknesses. There's situational stuff with each team. Our team, as we know, we've had, you lose defensively sometimes. And that might be our thing. There's other teams have their thing, and they're dealing with it in a different way. And they have 55 wins or 60 wins, and they keep moving forward. So I think that you just have to take the good with the bad, and we have to continue to address what our issues are, and not fade from them, not run from them, but to continue to keep them, keep going at them no matter what, and not settle for thinking that it's something that we can't change.
Last quick item, Mike, before we wrap things up. Where are you physically right now? How healthy are you compared to how you were earlier in the season? How fresh do you feel? Give me sort of a sense of where your body is and where your mind is right now.
I'm ready, man. I feel really good. Like I said, I'm ready to play 20 minutes, 35 minutes, whatever I'm thrown out there to do. I feel really, confident in my body and the game, and comfortable with how we've been playing and how I fit into the scheme of the role that I have. So, looking forward to these next few games and getting ready to get ready for these playoffs.
Good luck against the Bucks tomorrow night. The rest of the way, we'll be in touch as we head into the playoffs. Thanks as always, Mike.
I appreciate it.
Mike Conley on his way to the team hotel in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The Wolves will take on the beleaguered, from an injury standpoint, Milwaukee Bucks. Conley's appearance is brought to you by Dynamic Drips. Become a healthier, more hydrated you at dynamicdrips.com.
Is that the closest we've ever had to Anthony Edwards doing an interview?
I think so.
That had to be him, right?
I think it was him, and a couple people were quite concerned there might be an FCC violation that Conley would get blamed for.
Yeah.
Because it's his interview, even I don't think he could get blamed for something he didn't say, even though it might have bled into his phone being used.
I think we would have been blamed.
Yeah, you're right.
And I definitely was close to the dump button in case I could audibly hear something from Ant. But that was Ant's feeling good, it sounds like.
Yeah, see?
He's ready, too.
He's ready, and it sounds like Conley's energized and ready to go as well. Will Johnny Athletic be energized? He is scheduled to join us.
PayPal lets you pay all your pals, like your graduation gifters.
Who's paying for the mattress topper?
You mean the beanbag chair?
Aren't we getting a mini fridge?
Can we create a pool on PayPal? It lets us collect the money before we buy.
Ooh, yes, that's smart.
Glad we can agree on something.
Easily pool, split, and send money with PayPal. Get started in the PayPal app. A PayPal account is required to send and receive money. A balance account is required to create a pool.
Something unexpected happened after Jeremy Scott confessed to killing Michelle Schofield in Bone Valley Season 1.
I just knew him as a kid.
Long, silent voices from his past came forward.
And he was just staring at me.
And they had secrets of their own to share.
Gilbert King. I'm the son of Jeremy Lynn Scott.
I was no longer just telling the story. I was part of it.
Every time I hear about my dad, it's, he's a killer. He's just straight evil.
I was becoming the bridge between a killer and the son he'd never known.
If the cops and everything would have done their job properly, my dad would have been in jail. I would have never existed.
I never expected to find myself in this place. Now, I need to tell you how I got here.
At the end of the day, I'm literally a son of a killer.
Bone Valley, Season 2. Jeremy.
Jeremy, I want to tell you something.
Listen to new episodes of Bone Valley Season 2 starting April 9th on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. And to hear the entire new season ad-free with exclusive content starting April 9th, subscribe to Lava for Good Plus on Apple Podcasts.
Top of the hour. John Krasinski scheduled to join at 5:02 or so there'll be no top 5 at 5 today. Is this a full show? I assume there's no reason there wouldn't be.
Correct.
We are, though. We will have the men's basketball championship game via Westwood One on the Fan tonight. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Because there's no Wild tonight.
No Wild, no Wolves.
There's no Wolves tonight. Your Golden Gopher Women's Club's done.
That's right. WBIT champs.
WBIT champs. Will they get a banner? Speaking of banners, our good friend Chip Scoggins has reversed his field, as he acknowledges, to his credit in the column. Once upon a time, he was dead set against this movement to find the Final Four banner. By the way, how many other schools have Final Four banners as opposed to national championship banners? Are there a bunch?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. So Final Four is considered okay when it comes to a banner, even if you don't win it.
Yep. Every Big Ten school I go to, if they've been to a Final Four,
they'll
the banner is there. Yeah.
Okay.
Even like Michigan State, who's been to 1,000.
Like at UCLA in the Wooden years, they didn't have any Final Four banners, though. Probably. I mean, schools that have won a bunch of titles, I'm guessing.
That's true.
Although, I don't know. Maybe Pauley does. Maybe Pauley Pavilion also has Final Four. Of course, it just seems like every time they won it.
That's the issue.
Under Wooden.
Yes, with them.
So, Scoggins, while I was gone, he wrote about this again, reversing field. Because originally he's like, no, you don't need to go. No, the banner doesn't need to come back. It was a scandalous era, the Clem Haskins era. Stop romanticizing it. We don't need it. We don't want to bring the banner back. Well, he's changed his mind. And my theory is he's just gotten worn down by the Final Four terrorists who, if nothing else, are so desperate for something to remind us of a time where men's basketball at the University of Minnesota did have some success, stood for something. The barn was, shall we say, bubbling over,
rocking,
with anticipation,
as people like to say,
and emotion, the whole bit, and intensity. So he's saying, and he's using the same logic that a lot of people do, which is, come on, man, have you seen what's happened? I almost sound like Glenn Mason there, didn't I? Have you seen what has happened since when it comes to scandal in college basketball and college football? What Clem and Ganglegate did was, like double A ball compared to that. And now I don't think anybody's paying attention to any rules at this point.
Doesn't seem like it.
But I find the logic twisted because I don't think that has nothing for me to do with what was in place then. So, here's the point I've reached on this. I'm so bored with the subject because I see it's coming again, man. It's just every once in a while it bubbles over. What about that banner? We got to find it. It's somewhere in mothballs. We don't know where. We got to find. Damn well, put that thing. What are you going to do to us, NCAA? Put it up there. What do you think of that? And I've reached a point with it where I'm almost ready to say, go ahead, man. If you're that desperate for whatever. If it means that much to you, put it up there. It doesn't mean anything, but put it up there. If it'll make you feel better, go ahead and put the damn thing up there. I just think it's not even worthy of debating it anymore. I don't understand why this is such a big issue for people, that they think there's some kind of morality involved here, that we'll show them. We don't care what the NCAA does. We'll dare them to do something. So go ahead. If it makes you feel better about yourselves, how many years later? 3 decades?
Yeah, almost 30.
Put the banner up. Put the damn banner up, and great. Then what? We'll look at it, be a big spotlight on it. Will we have a ceremony when we put it up? Will we bring Clem and the players back, including Courtney James, Bobby Jack, the whole bit? I don't know. Maybe we will.
That's, to me, the more interesting part.
Well, you might as well.
Because I'm like you. I'm completely bored with the banner discussion. And as you know, or you could assume that about me, that
You lived it.
I lived it. I loved it. I breathed it. When they lost to Kentucky on Saturday night in Indy, the greatest host city in the world, the old RCA Dome, I didn't want to get out of bed on Sunday morning in Indianapolis. That's how depressed I was about it. By the way, that's how much it meant to me. When years later I asked Richard Pitino what he remembered about the 1997 Final Four because his dad, Rick, was the Kentucky coach. He said, not much. I don't remember much about it, which really made me mad. Because that was one of like the greatest weekends of my life, and Richard Pitino had no memory of it because his life has just been so great.
That's it.
Like, yeah, I guess we were in Indy.
That was a good one.
Like, I still walk in that Hyatt Hotel where you and I did the Radio Row shows, and I can still think about like where I was with my dad walking to the game. Like, that's how sick I was. So I bring all of that up to say it doesn't make one bit of difference to me what they do with the banner. If it hangs, if it doesn't hang, it doesn't really prove anything. Like you said, it doesn't change anything. But then my question is, what do you do? Is Clem allowed back here now? Do we celebrate
in theory,
Clem?
yes.
I
don't understand what the distinction would be.
The other teams before and after that got in trouble, like can Vashawn Leonard be recognized as a 2,000-point scorer?
Yeah.
Which I don't think he's even in any record books at the University of Minnesota right now. Like, what do we do with all the players?
Yeah.
That's the most important part to me, because that's, I think, what people really want to see. If they're really going to go all the way with it is, you want Bobby Jackson to be able to come back. You want Vashawn Leonard. I mean, that's the guy before anybody that got me into basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, before KG,
they were precursor.
I mean, before all those guys, Vashawn was the guy if you were my generation. And have we heard from him since he left school? We got to watch him play for the Miami Heat or whichever team, when they came through town. But that's the bigger thing is, are those guys allowed to be part of the thing now, the program?
Well, I would say yes. If you do it. If you say, well, we don't care anymore. Like I said, I think it's such a trifle that if it makes you feel better, if it improves your self-esteem to see the banner back up there, take it, put the banner up. It changes nothing, but put it up there, and you'll show how tough we are and how we'll let the NCAA come after us, because they didn't come after other programs like they did us. They came after many other programs the same way. Some, North Carolina, they never went after the way they should have.
Right.
But I've never bought that as a reason to say, well, that makes everything all right here. And I don't want to relitigate what happened there.
Right.
I'm bored with all of it. But I'm equally bored with the sense that there's something, it's going to put something back in us that didn't exist before. Go ahead, knock yourselves out, put the damn banner up, bring them all back, put them at center, how about a Clem statue?
In the new arena
that
we're not going to build?
Yeah, why not? What's the difference? By the way, you got a good support from Bozich on your Williams Arena position.
That's true, I did. Well, you know why? Well, my theory on that is he lives in Louisville, where they built, they got rid of your place, Freedom Hall. And the
very
Yum
historic
Center,
arena for its time.
They went to a lot of Final Fours that I think the banners are still hanging there with your guy Denny Crum. I just saw his face yesterday when they were talking about how many Final Fours different coaches have been to.
Mm-hmm.
But they built Yum Center, and they've never looked back. They say Yum Center is a great arena in Louisville. Everybody loves it.
Well, and I think and I don't know how many. It does have some bells and whistles. I don't know how many, but I
think it's pretty good.
We'll get back to that subject for those just joining a little bit later in the broadcast. Specifically, dig a little deeper down into that.
I want the banner back up, though? The number one reason?
What's that?
The only thing I'm interested in is where it's been all this time.
Yeah, I am kind of curious about that.
That's a mystery to me, how many people know where it is?
So do we think it's in a storage room, or is it possible is it possible Mother Maturi has it in his basement somewhere?
Oh, he wouldn't want a reminder of that. That's a dark time in Gopher history.
That's true.
He wouldn't want, knowing Joel like we know him, he would not want a reference of that.
So would somebody famous still have access to it, or would somebody... anonymous.
Those are all the questions I want to know.
That story fascinates me a lot more than whether you put the damn thing up or not.
Where has it been since 1999?
How frayed is it? Are you going to have it dry cleaned?
Probably need a new one.
Yeah, that's it too.
That's what I want to know.
And
who knows where it is?
A very good story. Well, why you got sources?
I know.
My guess is you know.
No, I don't, because I wouldn't. And they could never tell me
What if it's been burned? What if that's the dirty little secret or it's been lost and nobody knows where it is, and they're all obfuscating because they don't want to admit to that, because that in itself would be a scandal.
I should have asked Mark Coyle about it.
Should have.
When I had him at the Final Four on Thursday.
He would know, wouldn't he? You'd think.
I would think, but maybe he doesn't want to know.
He might not want to know.
Maybe nobody wants to know.
Plausible deniability. That was all that whole Clem era was about. Plausible deniability.
In honor of that, nobody wants to know anything.
Was that right? I had no idea what was going on. Top of the hour break, not a top 5 at 5 coming up. Our guy, Johnny Athletic. Where does Kevin Garnett fit in to what is clearly going to be a major changes in the front office of your Minnesota Timberwolves club? Is there a place for Johnny Athletic himself? Is that possible? I love getting that rumor going. All that next.
PayPal lets you pay all your pals, like your graduation gifters.
Who's paying for the mattress topper?
You mean the beanbag chair?
Aren't we getting a mini fridge?
Can we create a pool on PayPal? It lets us collect the money before we buy.
Ooh, yes, that's smart.
Glad we can agree on something.
Easily pool, split, and send money with PayPal. Get started in the PayPal app. A PayPal account is required to send and receive money. A balance account is required to create a pool.
Wendy's is the official hamburger of March Madness, which means more deals for you and more burgers for your face. It also means we got a junior bacon cheeseburger or a double stack for $1 with an in-app offer and a purchase. It's hard not to get excited when there's an offer of 2 of the freshest hot off the grill burgers that Wendy's makes. The junior bacon cheeseburger with the fresh beef, applewood, smoked bacon cheese, crispy lettuce, tomato, and mayo. And the hot and juicy double stack with 2 patties of fresh, never frozen beef with cheese, ketchup, mustard, pickle, onion. The real champions of March Madness. Head to Wendy's app and grab a $1 junior bacon cheeseburger or a $1 double stack with an in-app offer and a purchase. For the freshest deal in fast food, gotta be Wendy's.
Wasabi Technologies is purpose-built to free businesses from skyrocketing storage costs and unpredictable egress fees from those old and top-heavy legacy providers. You know, the big guys. Wasabi is the go-to provider for professional and collegiate sports teams around the world. From Wasabi's AI-enabled intelligent media storage, Wasabi Air, to the industry's only cloud storage service with triple protection against cyber criminals, Wasabi is driving innovation in data storage, all for up to 80% less than those other guys. Try them out for free at wasabi.com.
Something unexpected happened after Jeremy Scott confessed to killing Michelle Schofield in Bone Valley Season 1.
Every time I hear about my dad, it's, oh, he's a killer. He's just straight evil.
I was becoming the bridge between Jeremy Scott and the son he'd never known.
At the end of the day, I'm literally a son of a killer.
Listen to new episodes of Bone Valley Season 2 starting April 9th on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.